are back with you with Welsh Esports. This time around, it's going to be already week number 2. Time is flying by, and with Season 8 already underway, we have some fantastic matches for you today. 2 best of ones like the previous week, and well, today I'm not going to be joined by McCready, but on my right is going to be Charlotte. How are we doing?
I'm doing very well. We ousted McCready, he's gone. Locked him in the basement, and we're ready to jump into this. Yeah, I had a great time yesterday getting back into Esports Wales, and we're here again, Welsh Esports League, like you said, Season 8. And the 2 games we have for you are, first off, we're going to Group A with Red Kite's Pit Ponies. So we can see the standings there. And then second game will be Rejects Wolfhounds. But let's focus on that first game then. Red Kite's Pit Ponies. It's pretty simple here. The winner goes to playoffs, right? That is that is the stake. That is everything that you need to know about this match.
Yeah, 100%. But for any of you veterans or any who may not have been here before, when it comes down to this match, Pit Ponies are solid, of course. Now don't play on them. But Red Kites have been the reigning champions over Rainbow Six Siege for quite a while, and you know, as much as I don't want to keep this type of lead that Red Kites are going to be taking it away, it's definitely Pit Ponies coming into this as a bit of an underdog.
Yeah, definitely. I think I was quite surprised to see that the Red Kites actually lost their first game. I mean, it was close, 7-5 against Goats, but I mean, Goats then also went 8-7 against Pit Ponies, so with those sorts of things, this is a very, very tight group, but both teams did take a loss. So it is that everything on the line right now, right here, for both of these squads, as the first set of bans are coming through. We're also on Consulate. Let's talk about that for a second. Yeah. we had the map voters in. We're on Consulate here, and Ace and Kaid taken away immediately, Bob.
Yeah, I imagine both of these teams are going to be trying to aim it down to getting rid of the Hard Breach and the Hard Breach Denial, which with a follow-up here logically would be a Thermite Bandit, maybe Hibana instead of the Thermite, take away the Maverick, whatever fancies the side of Red Kites, and get the drum rolls going. It's going to be the Thermite, but a Zombie, which honestly I'm not too surprised by. I feel like as much as we are trying to get rid of that Hard Breach Denial, the Bandit can stay because it's a bit easier to deal with, especially thanks to verticality being included on this map. On the meanwhile, the Azami, there's not necessarily a counterplay to her because you're going to have to chunk utility or bullets at those keep a barrier one way or another.
Yeah, she's still very, very strong, and I think has been since her inception. So, not really a surprise to see her taken away. As the first round here, and again, no real surprises coming on in. Up on the top floor, we've got Elysian, maybe would be the only operator that you raise a slight eyebrow at, but good gun and has the super shorty as well. So much use in terms of opening sight lines, things like that. Combine that with the shotgun of smoke that Shakti is bringing along, and you can set up the site very, very effectively.
The reason I think I'm going to be bringing the Legion is because, well, no shields were banned. Normally what you see in competitive is either breachers or shields. That's the majority when it comes down to Consulate, and since Red Kites ended up going for the latter, shields are going to be now in play, and the Legion here being a great counter as Pit Ponies pick up on the lovely Blackbeard, which is hated by many, any who plays against him, while loved by those who are on the same team.
Yeah, I certainly not a fan of playing against the Blackbeard. Shield, and again a primary weapon to go along with that is very, very strong. YNB trying to go for the bandit trick here, and Max D's hard breach charge will get taken away, so the single wall on catering is taken away for now, as the rest of the approach here from Pit Ponies is looking towards this admin side.
Manny going in, Nate there to protect himself, but it's going to be the shield carrying majority of that defense as it's completely surrounded. They're from Small Vex, just try to pick off his head, not going to find the momentum, and a one-on repel just right next to him, but Pit Ponies have gained ground. That's what's most important, overtaking this admin side, continuing it towards the hallway, and everything below as well. This is what the attackers need to nicely work together, but at the same time, I mean, Red Kites, they still have the entirety of the site to work with.
First of the logic bombs from the Hibana as well just came through, so that's information gained for the attack in terms of the audio provided by those phones going off. So They're going to know a little bit more about this setup, but it's pretty standard. You got the vending machine, and, well, the grenade is going to clear that position. Deployable shield taken out, and that's more control garnered here for the attack, and Manny is pushing forwards here. And he's got backup as well from the circular stairs. It's Max D to find the first and the second. The striker coming online with a double.
But on with the double, a bit of damage onto Maddie, not enough to take him out. Saw barrel for the moment being in the head, not able to necessarily find its mark, as Young Yogi gonna retrieve the fire brightly burning. Pit Ponies with all 5 players alive, and a single entry as of the moment, unless they wanna wait these 15 seconds for the Goyo canisters to be extinguished. At the moment, trying to gather information. Red Kite still trying to work each other off at the moment being. Again, they're positioned nicely. If one goes down, the other can refrag. The crosshair is gonna be more than important, but Manny's entrance into the building even much more so. Who is Max? Finds one. That's going to be Zemo. A third one for the count, just like that. Look at Vax so close up. Going to get challenged by the Blackbeard. Doesn't buy the melee, but it's going to be Finlay coming in, and Max there with a finisher as a flawless round here from the side of Pit Ponies.
And Max there got a quad as well. Maximum impact from him. And it's a very solid first round there from the Pit Ponies. It was, you know, that sort of steady gain of control working through the map from down below as well. And then they had that sort of pinch push from spiral stairs as well. So really, I think what that comes down to from the Red Kites, is just a little bit of complacency. The only sort of off-site hold that they had was one player in sort of the admin area, and they very quickly fell back to the vending position. They didn't have anyone roaming downstairs. They didn't have anyone off of the site, really, and it just gave so much control for free to the Pit Ponies that they just went, yeah, sure, I'll take that. I'll take all of that space. And as soon as that happens, you're getting attacked from so many different angles that there's nothing you can do on the site.
If we go to the prior round, Pit Ponies here, I feel like they should try also focusing a bit more on counterplay. The Twitch would have been a fantastic way to get rid of those Goyo canisters instead of having to wait around. While also Pit Ponies, as much as I don't want to sound mean, hit your shots more. The Warden got away with his life. Everyone was staring him down, but he still managed to escape. Then we also saw, I believe it was a player on site who was being held by the Nook, and a single head tap, right? It would have converted it into a 3v3 situation, which would have been great. Now, not that Pit Ponies needed it, but again, these are just small mistakes that they're going to look to overcome. As for Red Kites, playing off of each other would be a bit better. And of course, not allowing these ones to go in the favor of the attacking side is another step.
Yeah, one thing that's important to note here for the Red Kites is, yes, they're the previous champions, but there's a lot of players changed from that winning roster last season. Only, 3 out of 5 are remaining, and, that can have quite profound impact. So, they lost the first round out here. What can they do in the second to try and answer back? Because very quickly that snowball starts to roll and things get very, very dangerous for them. It's a different angle of approach here, though, for the Pit Ponies, as this time they're looking towards the console side. And it's Shakti to take down the raid boss of the previous. Max down without a kill.
Well, Schlag got returned it quite quickly after for the exchange between the man count. And what the side of Pit Ponies are bringing here, the reason they have an Amaru is so they can repel into sight with the Incandelas in combination, but it's utility that tends to pack the most damage. YMB with a C4 taking out Manny, and that's the diffuser down as well. But looking to stick it on through. Shaka approach, it has the word in perfect counter and gets the second. Just like that, Pit Ponies have lost composure. Down onto Yogi elsewhere, gonna be piano side, and leaving it all down to Finlay to handle the deal, as the revolver simply will not be enough to sustain against the 4 players that are rushing you down. The SMG-11 striking last.
There's so many missteps there from Pit Ponies in that round. They had the Ying go in like the second. I just want to talk about that for a second. Ying goes in to try and plant, and well, there's no one covering. It's as free as can be to deny that plant, and it happened at the first time of asking as well with the Amaru, a C4. They had players downstairs from the attack, and they didn't shoot out the C4, or maybe it came through over the top. I'm not quite sure, but either way, you got to have someone on the window covering that, or from a different angle, or from down below. to go for that plant, it's all well and good getting in, but there has to be the cover, because it's so powerful when you have, you know, a player on the rappel, a player inside of yellow, to get those crossfires on the defenders that are rushing in to deny that plant. But they didn't have that at all. Instead, they just tried to plant and just hoped that Red Kites wouldn't notice, which obviously didn't work out. And by the time that the Ying was trying to plant, it was just so disjointed from all these different positions that there was no way that that was going to work out. So Red Kites get their first round on the board, and that means they can't go back down up, or they can't go back upstairs. So they opt to go down to the basement. The final round here before that next set of operator bans come on through.
It's usually how it tends to be on most maps, even for anyone that's played ranked. It's kind of a unwritten rule. You go top and bottom first, or bottom and top, but whatever it may be, just leave that middle floor untouched. Pit Ponies here, bringing out interesting utility, and I love how they're playing by the book yet again, trying to counter out some of this utility. Could find possible value off of the mirror zaps with the drone, but I don't think that's going to be happening just yet. As the rest of the operators, we can talk about them. It's going to be a vertical play in combination with the main breach, and then they pile down upon them. And currently, speaking of that verticality, Finlay already putting it down alongside the ram, which I assume is going to be a contingency plan in case one of these operators ends up dying. The second can also do their job in their stead. And now the main breach should be quite easy. And since we don't have an ace in the thermite, Habana is the best route to go about it.
Yeah, indeed. The Boogie Drone's doing so much destruction from above there. You could see the players on the site scarpering to try and find some semblance of safety, but those vertical holes go both ways, as Finlay did start to find out some shots there from Zemo, but it's the opener from Max again. Not happy with how things went in the previous round. The opening death, this time the opening pick again, and up to 5 kills already. An impact grenade from below. There's so much of this verticality trying to be used, and it's Shakti with the kill.
I'm loving that. The Habana trick, you can see there's holes on the top and the bottom. It is just getting rid of the anchor on the main breach. And that's how the sledge, Finlay here, sticking outside of main breach, is able to open it up now as the wall has been softened. Pit Ponies, Red Kites, 4 against 4, 1 minute and 20 currently, and spread out thin. The attackers and defenders I like. I do think I just saw the mirror attempting to maybe go for a bit of a roam at the moment. Yeah, Vex is holding it down on spiral stairs, but the entry from Pit Ponies is going to need to be a bit more noticeable. As Zemo shuts down Finlay, that's going to be the sledge out of consideration. And now at a man count dis, or rather loss, Pit Ponies realize they need to step up to the task, so they do. Welsh going to find a quick trade from the side of Shakti. Just like that, Pit Ponies find themselves in a bit of an issue.
Yeah, there's still 45 seconds left though. So Max over here inside a server could provide the other angle that Pit Ponies need to get this attack successful, but it's the Banshee to give away his position. Now these players are looking, but he still finds the kill. Shakti falling, now a 2-on-2. Advantage evened out yet again. The pendulum of advantage swinging here in this round. Billy Ray's fallen as well. Max D on an absolute tear. He keeps getting away with this, and the Flash gets Manny the final kill.
Chucks it, bearing 9 for the final resort, gets the shots, and just like that, the attackers are going to be back in the lead. This is a map that heavily favors the defensive side, so Red Kites already losing 2 out of the 3 played is not going to be a good starting side, but maybe after this final and initial ban from both of these sides, that can tend to change. Yet again, a 4-2 split from Red Kites is something that's expected. Now, if they're not going to be able to deliver, I'd call it a bit troublesome, but let's see these bans. Habana I mean, this is not a work. We get to see all 3 breaches gone, which means that if Red Kites want to get any wall open, they're going to be forced onto the Maverick.
Yeah, either that or the secondary hard breach charges, right? Which again is still not a brilliant way of going about it. It's a lot smaller. You either have to vault in or crouch through. It means that you're more easily pre-fired by any defenders watching that position. Maybe that could be why we see a bit more of a swing towards the shields. Manny picking up the Montaigne here, if things go unchanged, of course. So yeah, you want to be able to actually get in, and I don't quite remember what secondary utility Montaigne can bring, but there's going to be hard breach charges somewhere along here, especially if you're bringing along a striker.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, they need the breach one way or another, and considering they don't have a Maverick, it's going to be logical. They're going to bring in one for at least one operator, maybe two. We can assume it's the Monty, especially because of the fact that he can just stand outside the breach going for a safe plan, but at the same time, you would want to put Manny on the top floor, possibly, so he can support his fellow teammates in a bit of a easier clearage, as Max is now going in with the Amaru. We're talking about clearing ground, and well, Amaru is certainly one way to go about it.
The BDS SMG-11 skin as well. An incredibly based opinion. Yeah. Just clearing that space, they know that there's no one up there again for the red kites. Not really much of a roam. One person in servers and everyone else is on the site. The top floor being cleared very, very quickly here by MaxD, and again, this gives the Pit Pony so much room to work with. You can get Finlay on that sledge inside of Piano to start working things out, and then you can get so much from the breaches as well. This time, it's a push through shower, and like I said, Finlay from up above finds the opening kill.
Onto the opening kill, and Vex, that is going to be a dirty strategy. Gets Manny through the drone hole. What an exchange, and Red Kites are not letting go of the team so easily. Gets a diffuser spotted, and I mean, Vex is locked down onto this drone hole. Not going to be letting go of it so easily. As Pit Pony has a bit of difficulties entering the server side. Although Red Kites aren't necessarily displaying that verticality you'd want on this map, the horizontal battles are going to be something they want to take, but sadly won't. Max is going to yet again find the leverage for the attacking side. Now it's down to Red Kites to play a catch.
Yeah, it is, and Vex knows about that hard breach on the wall as well, so he's fallen back to a little bit of a softer position, but Finlay dropping in from the Visa hatch is good for one, and could maybe find a second there onto YNB. He's holding his nerve and gets that kill. 75 seconds now remaining in the round. The Vulcan canister there popped inside of the corridor to give a little bit more security to these players on the site, as Shakti knows that Max is up above here and is going to be able to get the spot, but can't quite land a shot. It's now only Shakti on the site, and he's not long for this world, you'd think.
No, definitely not. I mean, a single bullet from the Amaru going to be a bit of a teaser, not able to finalize the job. As Shaq now completely flashed, and there comes Welshland with a final kill for 70 to back a punch, and gets the third round for the attacking side. This is a bit concerning the way it's currently going, because some of these rounds from Pit Ponies, it's not like they've been down to 1v1s or such. They've been down to 1vx's, 2, 3. We've seen Pit Ponies come out very strong, and it's always Red Kites playing cat and mouse.
Yeah, it feels like they're just on the back foot here, but again, I feel like they're not doing themselves any favors by not having much off-site presence, because it's been the consistent theme here that they just get overrun by too many angles, and that's only possible in such quick time due to the fact that Pit Ponies don't need to clear the map. They can just go. So that's the improvement that I'm looking to see here. Get someone out on the roam. You know, Zemo's on the Malusi. You can roam on Malusi. You can roam on the Warden. You know, if you're Shakti, you could even maybe get Billy Ray to roam on the Goyo if you want. Really, the only player that I would say has to stay on the site is YNB with that mute. So get someone out on the map, disrupt the plans that Pit Ponies are going for, and maybe there is a chance, because the one round that Red Kites have won, I would pin that more on the mistakes of Pit Ponies more than their own successes.
100%. Pit Ponies now, as much as they're not screaming out aggression with the Amaru, which we've been seeing a bit more commonly, Manny's going to be resorting to the Blitz, which is, again, the less patient, more angry little brother of Monty's that can just rush down these buildings, rush down any room he wishes, as in the meanwhile, Pit Pony's now gonna, again, not necessarily go towards that east side. We don't see an Amaru, we don't see a Ying, meaning they're simply gonna go for this admin take, which is why we also get to see the Aurora, which will be very interesting in play. But again, this entry into the room itself is probably gonna be one of the more difficult parts.
All bangs through, and again, the entry here into admin. Pit Ponies going with what was successful for them the first time around. Ooh. That's a lovely kill onto Billy Ray, but Zemo does find a response onto Finlay, so the sledge going down. Here comes the Blitz, though. Train charging through. Manny clears out this position inside a small desk. Now 4 versus 4. Plenty of control now for Pit Ponies. They're starting to close the net.
Starting to close it down. Pit Ponies, yet again, we've seen a situation like this prior to it. Red Kites, just they've always been the ones landing in the crunch. A bit of a peek here. The aggression is going to be required, and Shakti claims it nicely. Still behind the shield. The Warden is a great counter. Does he activate those Google lenses? Yes, he does, and gets a headshot onto Manny as a double. Will initiate. Young Yogi there for the trade. Still going to be one player down, and Red Kites now in an advantage. YMB up close with the shotgun is going to be one of the more deadly factors that the attackers would want to keep in mind. As yet again, you have 2 players, lose 1. It's going to be down to burdening the shoulders of a single player.
And Vex is down below as well. So this is what I wanted to see in terms of spreading the map a little bit more. He can be that snake in the grass for the end of this round. And Pit Ponies, they have control of vending. Now pushing through towards long desk. Max could actually get something done here. Spotted the head, I believe, of YNB, but decided to try and go for the Vulcan canister instead. YMB now down very low on HP, but the fight coming on in towards the site now, and Vex flanking up these stairs. He's gotten the catch onto one. Vulcan canister being popped, and Young Yogi, he's going to fall to that. It's now a 1 versus 2 for Max. He's been the final boss so far here for Pit Ponies. With YMB so low, this one could still be winnable.
Who's Max trying to step over these flames like Jesus did on water, while his HP keeps on lowering by the moment. 10 seconds, double digits, counting down. Looks for the 417 to find succession. Vex is going to be revealing his position with it, but simply no time, simply no HP, and not much of a battle back, as Red Kites will now be taking their second round. 1 more to remain in the first half, and this is what we've been looking for. That's the aggression that they need to bring on their own defense if they want to fight against Pit Ponies.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a lot less passive that time around from Red Kites, and it worked out brilliantly for them. Things got a little bit shaky towards the end of the round, but it's fine. It worked out, and back down to the basement they go. Still yet to find a success here on this bottom floor site, so some changes perhaps having to be made, but it seems like they're sticking with an incredibly similar lineup. The Mute instead of the Bandit, really the only change. And maybe at this point you just kind of need to shoot your gun better as well. Like, I did not try and single out players, but Billy Ray hasn't found a kill yet, and when you've got Max on the other side who's already found 9, it's looking rough. It feels like it is a little bit of a player diff here, at least in the first half, but there's still an opportunity to change that, and still an opportunity to secure an even scoreline at the switch.
Oh yeah, 100%. There's still time, but if Max continues, maybe we're going to have a 20 bomb drop. We can only cross our fingers and hope for the moment being, but currently, heading into the last half, Red Kites, you need to secure this one, and it's going to be quite important. Unless these teams favor the attacking side a bit more, again, Pit Ponies could be having themselves a trip, a real lovely journey when it comes down to that second, and that's something they're looking forward to because they've already secured themselves a decent score. Now going on to the 6th round, we're going to be all the way downtown on basement floor. The Lions scan there just going to momentarily deny Red Kites in their movement. They do have a Mute that can counter that line, but yet again, it doesn't give you too much ground, as now Pit Ponies quickly charging into Visa side, getting themselves as much ground, information, but mostly, again, the entry into server.
Yeah, and it's coming through very quickly. Max using the DOM panel launcher there from the Raura to cut off a lot of the angles that perhaps the Red Kites would want to flank upon them from. And it's given Manny very, very quick control. He's already in coffee room, looking to aggress onto the site itself. The rest of the team here towards server as well. This is looking very, very nice for the Pit Ponies. Mute Jammer dealt with 2. Now the drones can come on in to get even more of that information to start to really work out what's going on here on the site. Vex, upstairs on the roam, is going to have to come in big, but he might be too late for this because these hard breach charges are already opening up onto the site.
Pit Ponies here are slowly prepping for the worst. Red Kites might be backing it up. Vex needs to return to site immediately as Pit Ponies are making haste way, but it seems they're going to be switching their objective as well, necessarily also spreading their player base onto 2 pushes at once. A one-dimensional push is never necessarily the best idea. Well, Manny going to go from up top, possibly trying to find any lurker catching in this unexpected moment. The revolver there going to be fantastic for verticality, although Vex is right around the corner. This is something that Red Kites here potentially could work off of. It's only down to timing, a bit of damage, gonna walk right into him in the moment being. Decides to back off, man. You're playing with fire here. And the hatch as well. Zemo finds Max, but it's gonna be Vex who now looks to step to the task, help Red Kites to chain on 3 kills. And Pit Ponies have been dropped in a moment, suddenly trying to find themselves scavenge this round, but it's simply not there. Zemo gets the double, and I think Pit Ponies are in a bit of trouble as Welsh lad the only left to stand, the last pillar of the attacking side. Red Kites want to have themselves an easy draw going into this first half, and I think they've already secured it.
Yeah, it would be a 1v5 here for Welsh lad if they're able to get anything done, and with just 20 seconds remaining, there's absolutely nothing to do here. Red Kites, again, they hit the aggression button. They went for the fights, and Zemo goes for the last as well. A flawless round to close the half there for Red Kites. And they tie things up 3-3, and the switch comes on in. The bans get removed away, and we head into our next veto phase. Are we expecting something similar to the first half?
It's either going to be that or shields. I think shields are a major part in it. And yeah, there it goes. The Blackbeard instantly gone. Pit Ponies, in the first 2-3 rounds, they realize how strong the Fenrir truly is and don't want to have a taste of their own medicine, which is why they ended up banning him. As for the rest, I think it's going to be powerhouse operators. The Blackbeard, he necessarily is a mixture of the Blitz and the Monty, something that's just that hits that golden spot you want on a shield, and that's going to be more than enough for Pit Ponies to get rid of. They think they're confident they can deal with a Monty or Blitz if Red Kites tend to bring it, but that's something for time to tell. As in the meanwhile, I guess we won't be seeing any more rushes, sadly, since the Ying is now off.
Yeah. I don't know quite how sad that is. I mean, the one time we saw it, it was a bit of a failure.
Well, that was sad as well, but, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
It's very sad.
They've got a cap can, though.
Ooh, interesting.
Max bringing along the cap can. I kind of mess with this, actually. I think it could be, I mean, perhaps I was going to say expecting the Amari rush, but obviously they banned away the Ying, so probably wouldn't happen there either way. In terms of denying the entry, the EDD is very, very powerful for that, so it just helps Pit Ponies get a bit more control, and that's something that we saw Red Kite struggle with in the previous half of, is actually keeping a hold on their control, the extremities of the map, so that just helps them lock those things down. Could work out well. On the other side of things, though, we've got a sense coming through from YNB.
What I'm paying my attention to right now, okay, yeah, good. I was gonna say not much breach is given, but Vex thankfully is gonna be bringing the can openers, which at the same time for that single wall leading into the site directly, essentially. Exactly here on this balcony, gets it, opens it up. This is going to be a late entry or just applying a bit of that Phantom presence onto Pit Ponies. Will also bring a really interesting lineup. I'm liking the smoke yet again, everything they bring. The Mira is interesting on this top floor. The same goes for the Capcan, but if it gets them easier gunfights, you know, on this top floor, that's what really matters.
Yeah, absolutely. You see, quite a lot of utility denial coming through from the attack. Here comes the RC Rotero from Billy Ray. Has been shot out.
No way! YMV, not the sense being gone of all operators as well!
Oh dear.
You need to be checking your doors. Now the execution operator has left the field.
At least they know there's a cap can.
Oh,
at least there's a cap can now.
That's one way to figure it out. Another way is that Manny's going to be putting down Shakti, and just like that, Pit Ponies are in a 3v5 advantage.
Yeah, it's not great, is it? But you know, still got the Twitch drones, still got the RCE Roteros if they want to use them to clear away. Perhaps, you know, maybe some EDDs. That would be a handy thing to destroy with those abilities. But with Vex falling as well, it's now a 3-player advantage. It doesn't seem like... Please don't tell me you fell off the roof. It must have been a swing, surely.
I think that's what it was. Again, we can just hope,
Surely.
right? But
Surely.
we've seen all the sorts up until now, and look at Max. He knows he can secure it by simply holding onto this, and he's going to do so simply. Again, Red Kites here are going to be down to 2 players unofficially to some degree, not being able to capitalize on that Twitch shock to get the mirror is going to be a bit unfortunate in the moment being, and I think these attacking players have given up on going for the rest. Pit Ponies are still going to be holding them down. Finish there, 1 second as well to chain, and just like that, Pit Ponies have still all 5 players currently remaining. Tries to go for the hipfire. A bit of chicory from the side of Manny. Zemo going to shut him down at the moment, trying to fight against all 3 that remain with young Yogi. I don't think the Warden here is going to be able to really fight back.
Yeah, I would be surprised if Yogi got the last kill, and well, he doesn't. It's Max instead. So Pit Ponies, they get the round, and I have a question for you, Bob.
Yeah.
Right? We saw in the last 2 rounds, actually, a Raora being brought along by the attack. Please sell me on the Raora. What's the elevator pitch for that
it's
operator?
Interesting at the same time, but I think the Aurora is mostly when you're going to be going for the site in general, you want to lock the enemies or yourself away from them. You really want to isolate them. So shutting down the spiral double door, shutting down the long desk to bathroom door. Again, you want to shut down as many angles from these defenders as you possibly can. So not only do you then have a good plant opportunity, at the same time, you know, you can kind of go off the swings depending on which door they want to open. But it's not necessarily the most effective, I'd say. Again, it's an interesting pick, and I'd love to see it utilized, but sadly, up until now, I don't think we've seen the potential these teams want to bring out of the Aurora.
Yeah, so it's not really a surprise that we see the Red Kites not really opting for them again. Instead, the Sens is making a return.
Yippee.
Along with 2
Hopefully
shields.
Hopefully he doesn't die to, Gafkins.
I'd be impressed if he did it this round, let's face it. What with there not being a Capcan. But
yeah.
the Montaigne and Blitz are coming through. So again, with the breaches being taken away and those sort of more execute operators, I guess you could say with the Ying as well, there's a heavy reliance of shields here from the attack. And the Lion Scan comes through as well. This is very, very punchy, and immediately Shaxi dies. It's a skirmish here on the site, and there's 2 different angles to try and fight from. Billy Ray's being forced away from this, and Manny is still there. The C4 comes on out. That's a disaster coming out from the Red Kites. Oh dear, oh my. They tried to rush and they just got sat down on their derrieres.
I'm not necessarily sure how the drone usage from Red Kites has been displaying up until now, but either they're saving their drones, which is a positive on its own, I can give them props for that, or they're not necessarily seeing what Pit Ponies bring. Because the second you see a smoke, the second you see a warden, the second you see a decent lineup of defenders that can easily counter your entire rush, you necessarily shouldn't be opting out for that strategy alone. I would consider that maybe a plan in the moment if you have drones on site and you see the defenders aren't well positioned. But as they currently want, Pit Ponies, I mean, they just dominated there without a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like just sort of running into a brick wall, and well, the only outcomes of that are eventually you get through the wall, or well, you end up with a broken neck. And when that previous round, it certainly felt like the latter of those outcomes is what we saw.
10 seconds to go.
Yeah.
I just, it was just sad. It was just sad.
It definitely left us speechless for the moment being, but Red Kites, maybe that's going to be the learning curve. Maybe now that's when they're going to finally start locking in, because Pit Ponies are going to be yet again bringing us some wonders. Besides the smoke, Valkyrie, Castle, those are going to be nothing of the usual. We do see Max, who is 11-3 on the Vigil. I think, again, comfortability pick, so you can go in for these swings. Red Kites have been loving their drones, so what better way to counter them? But it's going to be Manny. The Pulse, that will be really interesting, and it's up to Red Kites to hunt him down. What?
Entry through admin yet again. Well, see, this time there's a few more areas to clear. Manny's been spotted on that drone as well. And that's maybe his position is where he shot the drone. They'll know it now. And spiral stairs. There's so much pressure coming through from this top floor, Bob. I mean, Max is... It's looking scarier and scarier for him to persist upstairs.
Man, he's not going to be using the microwave of destruction, but rather the UMP-45 as he's going to be delivering a fatal blow to the Buck Billy Ray. And again, your plans of trying to go for this vertical are now going to be limited down to the Ashen Sophia, which I'd rather see you use on opening up new entries rather than trying to play it from above. The IQ trying to track down Manny to get that refrag, but it's going to be going against you. It's just like that. Pit Ponies have turned it on its head. With only 2 to remain, both upstairs. Zebo picks it up for 1, but you're still going to be 2 players behind, trying to advance off of it. Max keeps on riddling down your players as your diffuser is dropped admin side. You're trying to have troubles playing against this castle, and Zebo, it's going to be an ace or it's going to be match point against you.
Yeah, it would have to be a 1v4 as well, which certainly would be quite something. I think you'd have to agree with me there, Bob. He's got a little bit of information. He knows that there's probably going to be at least one player trying to defend the diffuser upstairs. So it's a different angle that he's trying to approach from here. The main entrance, double door. That barricade being broken will give a sound cue away. He's just trying to clean up anything he can downstairs before... He's got to bite the bullet here and face the music. You have to try and pressure upstairs. Max is getting curious here, though, and he's been able to spot him out. SMG-12 is not quite good enough for that fight for now, but again, crossfire established. Zemo is trying to watch for this. But again, the angle from upstairs, he's just locked out of every single position. Now the vertical, but Manny's been caught through the hatch. Only 13 seconds left as we're heading towards red time. Max, he's doing everything he can to just stave this away. And it will be 6 for the Pit Ponies.
Ooh, 3 rounds ahead, 6 and 3. This is going to be a score that Pit Ponies are definitely going to be bringing to fruition because yet again, the defensive side is going to be something you can thrive off when going to this map. One more round out of the following 3 red kites, you're going to be showing any, and I mean any mistakes, Pit Ponies will be the first and last there to punish you for it. And going into the final bands of the very possible final second half here, I could expect... What can we expect? The defensive, I mean, honestly, I would say a bit more default, but this is interesting. Okay, you get rid of the mirror, you get rid of the Twitch, which of course, the defenders here could be having an easier time working off of the Goyo, but I think they just didn't, maybe they wanted to play the mirror and didn't want to play against the Twitch. I think that's kind of the go-to, and it ended up being very coincidental.
Yeah, a bit redundant there in the end, but never mind. It's still 3 in a row that's needed from the Red Kites. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible, but it certainly seems improbable with the sort of turnaround that we've seen in this second half. I mean, the Red Kites haven't really been present since the switch.
Located by attackers.
Not necessarily, no. I think they've been allowing Pit Ponies to get away with a bit too much, especially the fact that we saw one Pulse, one bald-headed menace on the upper floor take out 3 of your players and also have the diffuser alongside it. While your entire objective at that point and currently given moment was to clear the roamers, which definitely seemed to be unsuccessful. Red Kites, again, match points against you, but maybe. Maybe they
again, if they can at least get 1 attack, I'll at least have some sort of hope for them. But I mean, again, this is the Red Kites. This is the champions for at least the past couple of seasons of the Welsh Esports League here in Rainbow Six. And they're down 6-3. If they lose this round, or any of the next 3 for that matter, they're going out of the tournament.
So they are. Red Kites didn't like how Pit Ponies were roaming earlier, and this time they're going to be having a response. as large as it gets.
Oh,
Vex
dear.
catching one off guard. That's going to be Max for the opener. A fantastic one, seeing as he's 14-4. The major damage dealer for Pit Ponies will be out of the board. At the same time, a trade here for Young Yogi as he finds Billy Ray elsewhere. But look at the lineup here from the attacking side. A Deimos, a Dokkaebi, a Nook. It's all, again, aggression. It's going to be aggression. That's the name of the game between these two teams. Real close, cutting it mighty. But YNB still gets the advantage for the side of Red Kites, as now they need to advance. The Pit Ponies are good at shutting them down.
Yeah, Finkerboost comes through there. Vex given at least a little bit of life. He was honestly on 1 HP after that engagement. He's able to fight a little bit safer here, and with Manny falling as well, the defense, well, they're starting to panic because it's now just Finlay. This would be a clutch for the ages. Again, a 1 versus 4 needed, the same as the previous round, but the roles are switched. It's now for the defense that this miracle would need to come through. Red Kites, it seems certain that they're going to get an attack on the board, and with the diffuser being planted as well on the site, Finlay, he's just completely locked out of this one. He's got 30-ish seconds to start trying to defuse, and while he's not even going to get given that opportunity, YNB is there for the kill, for the final kill that is, and while Red Kites, they do get an attack, and that's just the first step in the road to come back and win, potentially. It would have to be in overtime.
It's certainly a good step towards this marathon that would be overtime. Yeah, 100%. I mean, 2 more rounds here against Pit Ponies, and they're going to be going for the long run. The big round, 13, 14, and 15. But Pit Ponies, again, 1 more round is all you need, and regulation is going to be within your grasp. As going in to round number 11. Second floor yet again. Pit Ponies are giving it a second shot. They've realized their mistakes, and now they know that Red Kites are bringing the heat to them. While at it, as for Red Kites, I mean, let's take a look at the lineup. It's essentially the exact same without the Nook, and now replaced by the Zofia. Meaning Red Kites, you know, if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Yeah, I mean, that's very true. Try and go for something similar, and there's always the opportunity for the attacker repick as well, so we never really know what that full attacking composition will be until we load into the action phase, but it seems like they're sticking about this for now. In fact, the Brother comes on through, replacing the Deimos there for Shaq T, which is an interesting one. Clearly there's been something that they've identified they want to steal. I can only imagine it would either be Banshees or these Black Eye cameras. Thank you, Nanos, for pointing that one out for us. There's inside the cabinet there. That's got to be what they're looking to steal here with this drone.
Bravo there on the scout, trying to find any utility. Now, the most Pit Ponies here can find value off of is going to be giving away these Melusis, the Valkyries. Yet again, the attackers are going to be sending down upon this Visa site. While the meanwhile, Red Kites as well. At the same time, the amount of utility they're going to be gathering here is going to be nothing but phenomenal. As now, trying to get yourself in the most spots, spread yourself thin across this map, and maybe even flush Max back to where he belongs, or possibly take him out in the process as a tertiary objective. All down to time, but Pit Ponies are slowly getting surrounded.
Yeah, and the question is, do they know it? As the logic bomb rings out yet again. Phone's buzzing away for the Pit Ponies. And Max, well, he's not the opening pick this time. He gets the opening pick. Manny, though, is down but not out for now upstairs. So there is that sort of even trade out, especially if there could be the confirm on that kill, but instead it's a revive. Advantage re-established yet again here for the defense, but Max then falls downstairs on the roam. Manny's low, but so is Shaq T, and Zemo's out of the round entirely. Half this round gone, and Red Kites find themselves at the disadvantage.
Chaos erupted. Now headspace is given back to both of these teams as they're able to work it around. But look at Red Kites. They're going to be struggling to get themselves this one kill. Possibly Manu with low HP. Shaq there to follow alongside with it. And one on long dash spotted out for the moment being Young Yogi nicely retreating. Not going to be giving them the opportunity to equalize out the man count as the defenders simply need to hold their crosses. That's the one objective. Shotgun from Manny tries to pass it by. YNB catches them in the moment being and simply continues trying to approach the site. Now they're getting down to the end game yet again. It's going to be the main event coming about at Pit Ponies. 2 players going to be set around this A site, holding it down both. Do they know about the Dokkaebi? YNB exposes himself, but not able to find the shot, as maybe retreating towards the short desk. Gu there to set him and nicely calm down the situation. 30 seconds for Red Kites. It's all or nothing. Pit Ponies are holding them down. YNB's looking to approach the situation as carefully as he possibly can be, but it's going to be the hold that you need to get. The hipfire attempt and tries to stand back up. YNB taking damage. No kills delivered just yet. Plant going down, and Vex holding him perfectly as he gets one, the second as well, and all left to Finlay's hand. It's a burden. It's a heavy one as well. Lays down mid-play and going to bring Vex down to his final few ticks of HP. In a 1v2, you need to reserve some of these seconds for the defuse. You have little to no intel where Shaq currently lies.
Wow.
As he finds you in the rubble that remains. And Red Kites are now 1 round away from overtime.
Yeah, that felt like that shouldn't have gone that way. Goodness me, Red Kites, they've shown some real resolve to win out that round from the deficit that they found themselves in. I think it was basically a 5v3, and they're still able to come back, bring it back from the brink, really. And Pit Ponies, again, I mean, I worry for their mental at this point, because they're letting things slip here. They had 3 chances to close out this map. 2 of those have been expended to no avail, and now the Red Kites are coming back. They've got the momentum. They are going to have to attack onto the basement site here, though. And, you know, perhaps this is why they're champions, because they're able to come back from those sorts of positions. Yeah, they're down 6-3. Honestly, they looked a little bit lost. I was very, very worried for them. They're able to bring it back. And that's what it takes to be that top caliber of team, is to have that mental, is to have that resolve, and Pit Ponies are crumbling.
Don't mention results too early on just yet. Charlotte, we don't want to be caster cursing it, especially for Red Kites. They're on a good path, but it's not great just yet. They need overtime, then they need the rounds to back it up as well. This is only for the lifeline. That's the battle. Pit Ponies, in the meanwhile, trying to deny it. Is that a run out from Manny? Real cheeky. Pit Ponies already applying some of that Fender pressure, because now Red Kites are going to be going about every corner, terrified if someone's going to swing them or not, which can be a positive for your droning skills at least.
Yeah, that's true. We've seen some interesting droning in the past, you know. Capcan traps perhaps not being spotted. Things in that nature. Tin opener is taken away there, though. The Electro Claw comes back online early enough. Clutch drone here from Shaq T is evading capture for now. Max is definitely distracted by this, and he knows that there could potentially be players supporting this, backing it up. The camera is taken away, but he's able to escape with his life.
But Kites opening further. Step hasn't been too large here for their own team. As they've been using drones so much, they haven't been able to personally deliver themselves towards the site just yet. Breach was open. Why? It'd be a lot of damage here onto the Dokkaebi. Don't want to be losing them so early on. And Manny, an absolute menace on this top floor. Gonna be even heading to the second as well, the very top of the map, to maybe come down as a reigning champion later on. But it's up to Pit Ponies. Will they need him in the first place? Red Kites now have the opportunity to play a bit more aggressive. The Dokkaebi, the call there, denied by the lovely Tubarão nade as he looks to descend down upon Visa.
Yeah, Zota canister to deny that utility. Now he's going for the wrap. He's either wasting the time, or he's going to be able to find a kill at the very least. Finley has been found, though, downstairs, and Vex does fall, so there's something good there. And with shooting the drone, you'd expect they know where Manny is, but I don't think it matters, because everyone's falling on the site. Red Kites, again, fighting back. Max has to do it all, 15 and 5, and he's the only player downstairs defending. YNB starting to plant, but here comes the swing. That's absolutely massive from Max. It's now a 1 versus 1. Zemo up against Max now on the site. What is he able to do? Creep him round. Max is keeping himself safe for now. Round through security. He's got the spot, but the pre-fires give away his position. There's still plenty of time, plenty of mind games to come into this. Overtime or a map win looming on the horizon! And Zemo takes us the distance!
That indeed was close, a bit too close. Some might call it a bit of a slip-up, allowing the Vigil to come in on your behind and able to find two of your players, the planter as well, literally down to a 1v1 with 20 seconds for the final player to clutch up. Thankfully, Zemo is a teammate that you should always rely on, as now Red Kites have had 3 rounds in a row, able to back up their own battle, pulling no punches, and of course catching up with Pit Ponies. Overtime is here, and the first one to claim 2 rounds will be going into the playoffs.
Yeah, it's a 3-round shootout to decide which team's eliminated, which team progresses to the next phase of the competition. It could not get closer here for these two teams. Pit Ponies still on the defense, and they elect to go back down to the basement. I mean, they got the round close before. It was due to some heroics from Max, though. You can't really rely on that again. They're going to have to change things up, and they seems like they have considerably with the Ella being brought along.
Yeah, it screams aggression. It screams comfortability.
Oh,
Who's
yeah.
Max here is going to be playing the Scorpion, and they're going to be playing it well, I imagine. I mean, if they have the KD to back it up, props to them. Let him go. You go, King. For the rest of the players, Red Kites here, it's going to be up to you. Yet again, are you able to continuously keep on the streak of rounds to get yourself not only another chance at match point, but another opportunity to keep yourself within Esports Wales here? Well, overtime is upon us.
It absolutely is. Again, the stakes are so high for this match. You could not ask for anything better here to decide which team goes to playoffs. I mean, yeah, like we say, Bob, we wanted a close game. We were saying before the match, we were saying, you know, oh, maybe this will be, you know, a couple quick games, sorry, today. And well, this one has proven to be a lot closer than perhaps we expected. Perhaps the teams expected, especially Red Kites, you know, with the caliber that they find themselves. It's a very close, tight-knit group. And you get the feeling that these tensions are going to boil over once more.
The Bravo being a nuisance yet again. We've seen it from Red Kites. His ability has been fantastic, and I'm not sure if that was intentional or not. I'm going to need to find that breach, so they do. Just like that, we do see that Red Kites here are going to be taking it from multiple angles at once. Main breach going to be given upon for the moment being, as the rest of the players here, again, server has been a throne room for some of these players. It's up to Red Kites to sit upon it.
Max is roaming about upstairs. The logic bomb should give away that position, but I don't know if there's any attackers really nearby to capitalize off of that. And he's just going to be waiting for the opportunity to get that backstab play inside of Expo right now. Vex, you can tell, is sort of aware of these positions as we head into the last minute of the round. Time is starting to wear thin here for the Red Kites. And there's still that player on the flank. It doesn't even matter at this point in time. It's Shakti to find the opener. Finley, that's the smoke dead.
Smoke dead. Again, not the best of prioritization when it comes to the defenders here. Manny could be going for a nasty swing to find himself too. Instead, it's going to be back somewhere else. Manny with a headshot onto Wire B. Follows it up to Shaq. And now it's 3 against 3. As Pit Ponies are able to hold it down just for the 30 seconds. It's going to be down to mercy of time. But does the aggression get in their head? The Great certainly does for the moment being. And Red Kites are struggling to get past this bulletproof shield. Now it's Youngie.
Definitely util for it. They've got zero util for this deployable shield. This is such a powerful position, and Manny is finding the kills. He's getting all of the frags. And Welsh lad and Yogi chip in for the final blow. Pit Ponies, 3 opportunities spurned, finally get a defensive round again.
finally get a defensive round. It's only taken about 3 rounds of those for them to be for 3 rounds for the to be lost against Red Kites for Pit Ponies to actually bring it back. But now they have match point yet again. Earlier they held it for 3 rounds. Now they hold it for 1 more. Can they take it home?
I mean, that's the question. They were on the receiving end of an 8-7 loss last week to the Goats. And, well, they're in OT here yet again. This time, though, they're setting themselves up in a good position to be able to win it out in overtime. Just 1 attacking round needed. But 3-3 on the halves. It's been a very even game, and you'd say that Red Kites, they still have a decent opportunity to take this to the maximum 15 rounds.
They have a decent opportunity indeed. They've had many in the past, and they've gotten away with every single one of them. Now, they need to even it out yet again. The game of cat and mouse here has been persisting since the very beginning. Although Red Kites definitely have been lurking in the shadow of Pit Ponies, they've always been able to come back. They have never left us here. Now Pit Ponies on the attack. Top floor, Red Kites bringing out not only the Goyo, which is going to be fantastic to see, but also the Legion, although not a direct counter to any shields, as Pit Ponies won't be bringing them. It's going to be more of a secure, I would call, lever, just to make sure that the attackers don't even think about bringing one.
Max D, his position is going to be known about. Or at least I thought it was going to be, because the metal detector went off, but instead Zemo, caught in the sprint animation, gets cut down early by a player who has been showing up consistently here for the Pit Ponies. I mean, Max is nearly on 20 kills, which is a ridiculous stat line.
20 bombs still possible, Max. Maybe you get 2 kills right now. Maybe you lose this round and continue the job next one. The time is running out. Rounds are as well. 2 at a max. That's all we have remaining. A lot of utility here from the side of Pit Ponies, and they're starting to put it to use. The line scan there. Possibly a death mark could come in use as well. And of course, the Aroni spotted for the moment being Revolver there, Midwestern style, trying to pop their head. The Goyo canister going to be popped in security just to back off for the moment being. Manny, though, simply standing his ground as it currently is. And the attackers have more than enough time to work with.
Yeah, the Banshee going off there as well, just to give away the information. So Pit Ponies, they've got to look for a different angle, and that angle here is from the Visa staircase. And, well, they found a kill elsewhere. Spiral stairs, that's a Yogi, in fact. From that position, he swung upon Billy Ray, trading things out. He hasn't had many kills, but that one could be very, very important for the outcome of this round, for the outcome of the map, in fact. Because, of course, Red Kites, if they win this, they have an opportunity to take the victory on the attacking side. As things stand, though, this last minute is coming through. YMB, he's so incredibly close. EE1D rings out, the Lion roars, and Welsh lad finds a kill with the rifle as well. Manny's down low. But look at this position from YMB. Oh, he crouches, gives away the sound cue, and Max is downstairs. 1 versus 4 now for Vex. He's got to try and do it all. The world is on his shoulders. Manny goes down to the goo mine, but the diffuser here is planted. It's effectively a 1 versus 2 as this player now gets revived back to a 1-on-3, but it's just to try and distract, take away some attention. 30 seconds left on the timer. Vex, he's trying to find the angle, but these players, they've scattered to the wind. They're getting away from this. He knows that he's got to try and find this fight on scopes at the wrong time. It's such a messy affair, but he gets it done, the engagement, but he doesn't know that Max is still downstairs. He's going to try and tap on this diffuser. You'd think he's got a decent angle onto this corridor here, but Max, all he has to do is swing. He's got to waste just 3 more seconds. It takes 7 to defuse the diffuser, and it's taken away. It's done. Pit Ponies, they take the crowns off the King's heads, and they're going to the playoffs.
They're going to the playoffs, a fantastic way to book your ticket. Maybe a bit of a struggle when it came down to that second half, but Pit Ponies prevailed in overtime, got both of the rounds they needed, and just like that, sadly, Red Kites, that comeback was all for nothing, but still a really good attempt. It's without a doubt the Red Kites put everything they could into it. Sadly, though, it was just not enough. Again, the plays here from both these teams were great coming in for this final round. We just witnessed Red Kites. I feel like you just let off players a bit too easily, but relying on hero plays is something, as much as I do love seeing it, it's not something I support. And in a 1v3, you know, you can't expect a player to come out on top.
No, for sure. I think it's... I've forgotten what I was going to say now, but I mean, Max did get the 20 bomb. There's at least that to celebrate. Very well done there, and yeah, like we said, the comeback. I mean, it was so damn close in this group. I mean, Group A, what an incredibly tight group. 2 games going to OT, the other one a 7-5. I mean, there was barely anything to separate these teams, but the minutia, it went the way of others, and Red Kites find themselves out of well 8.
100%. And before we're going to be heading to the next match, which will be, of course, Rejects versus Wolfhounds, and the map also selected, keep yourselves tuned because that's also going to be a really interesting match. I already see the map. It's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. So we're going to take it to a short break. Stay tuned and we'll be right back.
we are so back. I'm still Charlotte, still joined by PuffoBob. It's time, Bob, for game number 2.
It is.
For this one, we head over to Group B for a match between the Rejects and the Wolfhounds. Now, this game, instead of being a fight for playoffs, is a fight between teams that are already in playoffs. This is now a seeding match. The winner will go against Pit Ponies in the first round. The loser will go against Goats in the first round. That's sort of the stakes that we see coming through here. And yeah, you were very excited about the map, Vito.
Yeah, we're going to be heading into none other than the most aggressive, the most compact, and a big box of anger and aggression. It's going to be Border. We're going to be seeing this time around. Earlier, we saw Consulate Pit Ponies won 8-6 against Red Kites if you were not there. But now Rejects face Wolfhounds on Border. And I think the operators here are going to be a lot of intel denial, are going to be a lot of shields as well, because those are the first two we get to witness. Clash and Monty, not much of a surprise.
Yeah, again, it's the same sort of thing that we were talking about in the first map. Shields are poopy to play against, and especially on a map as small as Border. There's so much more.
What an analyzation! Shields are poopy to play against.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
No, I said professional.
On a map as small, as Border. I mean, that is only expedited, and that's why you kind of see the Azami come away as well. She is essentially a shield operator for the defense, and Ashe being brought away as well. I think that's just to try and slow down the attack a little bit, because she can get you into sites very, very quickly.
It might also be a target ban. It might or might not be a target ban. Or another thing that Rejects here are possibly looking to do is get rid of a potential mirror counter. Now, at that point, you might as well be going for a Twitch, but the Ashe charges can shatter the mirror windows due to not recent, but I guess recent-ish changes on the Ashe. And of course, we can see that Shoji's already going to be picking up the mirror, which is indicating that that's possibly why the Ashe is gone. But yet again, seeing as the Wolfhounds lineup currently is shivering my timbers, we might be seeing an A plant and rush.
Yeah, we very well might. For the Rejects, though, they're going to want to come out on top here. Last time these two teams played, it was a 7-1 victory to the Rejects. That was in the group phase last time around. So, you know, Rejects, they've got the precedent here. But Wolfhounds, this time, they've made it that next up. They didn't get into this sort of playoffs phase in, well, 7. They've got here now. Their rise could yet continue, Bob.
Well, Rejects, what better way to start us off on Border than Yellow going for the spawn peak? Well attempted. Attempt was there, to be said the least, but of course not finding any value, as Wolfhounds, on the other hand, their spawn is going to be completely down this west or east side, and without a doubt, yeah, we see them opening up the A door. You have the Blitz going for the smoke plant alongside Champ, who can definitely watch on through, and Rejects don't have much of a counter. They do have the Melusi to slow them down, but there's no smoke to Chanka to delay that plant, while the Wolfhounds are rather going to be directing themselves towards Fountain, this hallway on east as well, and just pushing up to the ground.
Yeah, castle barricades in the way, but very easily dealt with a few melees, and Joshi Moshi is the one to find the opening kill. So that now comes away. Wolfhounds with the advantage here, and again, that march on forwards just continues. C4 forces the player away to scatter to the wind, but I mean, he's still alive, and Wolfhound's still with the advantage in the situation.
Honestly, Wolfhounds go by the book, definitely not going to be working in the favor as look at Yellow coming up the side from east, finding two, but it's quickly exchanged by the side of Wolfhounds, and even that double down upon as the mirror's going to be falling. Shoji down on his ground, and now Flair, last one to remain. Will he be putting anyone 6 foot under before he relentlessly falls? The plant hasn't been even attempted to be stuck down. C4 doesn't find its mark, nor damage from the shrapnel, still attempting to get the diffuser into the site itself, while Flary attempting to have any fight back against it, not finding any succession. A lot of damage, 50 already down. Plant about to be stuck on through with a very safe positioning for the buck, as Wolfhounds are simply gonna let it rip, and now time is against you.
Yeah, it's such a difficult position to try and fight back from. Just one kill and things start to get more winnable, but with the wall starting to get opened up and all those crossfire angles from the windows and doors, it just gets so difficult to try and find. Devon is the one to find the final kill. And it's a very nice first round from the Wolfhounds. You can already tell that the Wolfhounds from the previous season that got 7-1'd, they are not the same team in the server today. They are a different level.
Interesting how they went about it. Definitely could have went another round, but Rejects had them stumble in for the moment being, although they quickly recycled back on it. Wolfhounds reclaimed ground, got themselves to decide. The plant was very quick, and of course, successful. They got an early round. Like you said, this is the same round count they currently hold as they did in the previous match as a whole. Maybe we're going to be able to get a bit more. Hopefully, we're going to be able to get a bit more. As for the side of Rejects, not the best of beginnings here, yet again. Openings did not favor them, and they had to resort to, again, chasing up some of these kills, which can result in some awkward positions.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they're defending on border. It's a fairly difficult task at the best of times, and when you have a Wolfhounds team that's fairly competent facing you, it makes it even more difficult. You can tell that the vibes are high from the Wolfhounds as well, just based on the old chat messages. And I mean, honestly, you can see why it was a team ace to come through in round number 1. Every single player with a kill. And for the Rejects, it was really only Yellow to get anything going. Everyone else falling without a pick. So the rest of the team needs to step up to that level, but it was a lovely flank idea. I want to see here for for Rejects, them continuing to sort of push those extremities on the map like we saw Yellow doing in the previous.
Spotting the Jaeger below, Yellow has been lying around here since the previous map. Gonna find environmental damage. That gas leak pops it for the moment to deny anyone pushing up. All the Wolfhounds are being quite patient, but the Blitz now with a follow-up. A lot of them doesn't seem like it connected. Yellow's still on full HP and going for a bit of a rang around the Rosie. Joshi finds Yellow. That's gonna be the opening here in the favor of Wolfhounds. A bit of damage delivered onto them, but it's not gonna be anything more than a slap on the wrist, as now they look to advance, open it up onto 90, and repeat what they did earlier.
Yeah, it's feeling very much a copy and paste of the previous, and Yellow, the only player to find success in the previous, taken down. But Spoomy has been felled. A C4 from down below, that's Flary with that pick, has been able to bring things level. Now, this is something that we didn't get to see in the previous round. This is where the timelines diverge a little bit. We're settling into a 4 versus 4. It's not like, you know, yeah, those kills came on in from Yellow, but then things quickly went back the other way. This time, there's this sustained period of equality, and the Rejects, they just start to feel a little bit more secure, a little bit safer in their positions. They can bunker down and wait for this push.
Information relayed, taking it out at a drive-by for Akayu. Wolfhounds find themselves stuck in the moment being, not able to find too much progress as Flary takes out Joshi. He's going to find 12 gauge value, a bit of pre-fire action, going to bring Akayu down to a bullet away from certain death, and Possessive gets himself the second in the round, as now Lazy will be leaving the board with only 2 to remain here for Wolfhounds, and they're going to be relying on very improbable moments. Goes for the mirror on aims and timing being your best friend here. This is a possibility here for Wolfhounds as Akayu picks himself up the second to follow up quickly with it, but now time is going to be against you. The attackers here low on HP maybe, but they still have the chances at them. Now, which approach are you going to be taking? I haven't been seeing too many smokes used too well on this glass, and maybe just sneaking into sight here could be a potential downbreaker for the defender. The Melusive here is going to be bringing about where you currently rock, trying to lay down and cover your tracks, but 15 seconds and the attackers need to make headway. Flary still religiously holding down this mountainside. The smoke from the Twitch here are going to be huge, as now you can go for the plant. The enemies won't see you, but Chap has the perfect angle to hold anyone down. Flary up above, raining bullets, heavenly, and just like that, securing around for the Rejects, as the glass did not anticipate someone to go that high.
They just let the time get away from them there, Wolfhounds. I mean, you saw it. It got down to about 7 seconds left, and they were finally actually stepping into the site. You cannot get success with time that low as an attacking team. You've got 3 minutes. 3 minutes, Bob, to get yourself in on the site. And, well, it took them 2 minutes and 53 seconds to actually do it. At that point, yeah, sure, you have the cover, but like we saw from Flary, just one off angle that, you know, it's known about, but Champon, we can't watch every angle at once. You know, it's not like he's got 50 guns and 50 eyeballs. They just didn't really set themselves up for success, just took a bit too long to actually attack there. So, head into a new round, Bathroom Tellers. There's a bit more immediate access onto this site with that toilet window, which, you know, very well could be the angle that Wolfhounds want to approach this from. There's plenty of ways you can do that, from above, from, like I said, the window onto Tellers, or also you could kind of go for a cross-map thing along the bottom floor, or a combination of those three. But also, again, the spawn peaks coming through, very aggressive, possessive. He wants to try and find something from this east balcony.
It's definitely going to be order fashion. I was thinking for a moment he might be going for the C4, but no, laying it down. No, that's going to be very unfortunate because Wolfhounds, their entire lineup here relies on the top floor. Get the hatches open, find yourself easy go around with the blitz, and then vertical extension with the buck. But if you have no Hibana, if you have no hard breaches, how will the hatches get open?
Yeah, they're just going to have to hope, really, that, well, that the hatches were already opened by Rejects as an escape route back to the site. If not, then, well, there's a bit of a... You're in a spot of bother here, Wolfhounds, and after that first round where they looked incredible while finding victory, since then, Rejects, they have really had the control in this situation. C4 comes out over the top to try and deal with the blitz, advancing up the main stairs, but it's not to be. Instead, it's the kill from 2 separate angles. That's the problem with a shield. You can't protect both sides of you at the same time, but Joshi Moshi's found a double. Akayu as well, and very quickly, Wolfhounds in the ascendancy and in the advantage.
In the advantage, now it's up to Rejects to bring it quite even, and that's not going to be too difficult of a task considering Joshi's HP is going to be quite necessarily, or even close to death. He's already 1 foot in the grave, while Wolfhounds are now going to be advancing off of this horizontal push. They gave up on the top floor quite quickly, and again, are going to be majorly focusing on kills. Down onto Joshi here. The equalization has come through, and it's going to be up to the defenders to hold their own ground now. Going into bathroom, retreating back to site, being next to Cryrim is going to be a majority, is going to be a major play that the defenders need to work off yet again. Going for the refrags or trying to hold across, that's one of the two I'd recommend here for Rejects.
Yeah, and perhaps the position of Cryrim, well, they know it now, but it could have been something that Wolfhound, didn't expect. They're still not completely sure, expecting there to be someone upstairs or something, just a lack of information. And the attacking side here, they're just kept guessing. With 30 seconds left, there's not much time left to try and get something done. They're just having to drone themselves through. Even now, this clear, it's taking its time, but now comes the run on in. Cryrim, there's the first spray through the wall. Lazy Devon is good for 1, but does he know of Shoji's position? Ring around the rosies. He's come through in towards lobby and backing away the buck. There's only 10 seconds. He has the diffuser in hand, but it's a slightly whiffed shot. He's got to try and sprint on into the site. Doesn't quite know where the shots are coming in from. Shoji, all you have to do is sit and live, because now the plant is coming on in. It's only 7 seconds, but
what are you shooting
it's
at?
not
This
the
is
site.
not the
He's
same
shooting
site.
at the wrong site. He's pre-firing
no.
the wrong angle, and that's possibly given a lifeline here over to Devon, because he's now escaped into Tellers, and he can watch this from a slightly further angle. What a misplay potentially from Shoji. There's still a chance to try and get something. The melee onto the window. He now knows this position from the buck. Sprint on round. Play around the back. Devon gets it done. What on earth just happened, Bob?
What are we thinking?
What's going on?
The wrong site? You are defending your own site and you don't know where it is? What? How does that happen? What? I can't get around it. If it was maybe the Bucks somehow getting the confusion, I'd get it. but it's the mirror. You can see the sights, the bombs through the wall. Why would the fuck be planting in a room that isn't even theirs? Yeah, get rid of the mirror, because thankfully that was a play that no one wants to witness ever again. As for the side rejects, they do not like dealing with a bit of blitz. The top floor onto 90 from Armory, double cross onto the Mozzie, got them an easy kill. Maybe it wouldn't have any more. So they want to get rid of the blitz. But I'm just shell-shocked that how?
What just happened? Oh dear. Well, you know, I feel like we'd managed to get through today with a fairly minimal number of shenanigans. Like, that streak couldn't keep up, right? Like, there had to be something.
Yeah, sure. Let's stick with it, but it's not going to be good for the rejects yet again. This, I wouldn't necessarily call it defender-sided map. Again, aggression is something that is complemented by the attacking side. Although for the rejects, you want to make the most of it, and allowing rounds like these to slip on by could potentially be coming back to bite you in the long run, especially in the second half, where those match point score lines tend to start closing in.
Well, at the very least, that's a round that they shouldn't have lost, which I know sounds like a negative, but think about it this way, right? If you shouldn't have lost that round, and then did, that means that you were in a good position. And if they're in a good position, then they can do it again and probably get it over the line this time around. That's the cope right now for the rejects. But yeah, they are now going to that ventilation workshop site, which is, you know, perhaps what was actually happening was that Shoji was just looking too far in the future. And anyway, the site is ventilation.
There we go. Professional analysis here.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
I mean, Poopy Shields and Mira not knowing where the side is. This is why we love Esports Wales. This is why we love it. And this is why Wolfhounds are potentially on a lead, having a bit of difficulty with repelling. I don't think they necessarily realize that that is not going to be a possibility, but they do end up just sticking it through. The repel on that skylight is something that is very uncommon as well. Rejects put one player there, and two would have been gone for Wolfhounds, although that tragedy did not occur this time around, but we still have some defenders upstairs, although I don't think they're necessarily too aware that the east side has been already overtaken.
Yeah, there's plenty of players in this situation, and well, the fire extinguisher popped. That's the smoke in the way. Castle barricade. Oh, wow! There's a castle barricade to deny that space, but Possessive just has shot through the wall, and Joshi Moshi goes down.
Goes down as it is. Wolfhounds are now getting ready to fully send their charge because, again, kills are going to be something that they require. At least one for the bare minimum to catch up on what rejects currently have to offer. Twitch there for the information, using the drone as well, getting caught out in the moment, but I don't think Shoji necessarily realizes it. Still attempts to rely on that castle barricade to keep himself safe. Well, the top ground going to be contested by Spoomy. Has two players to fight against, doesn't get the moment. Yellow, on the other hand, surely doesn't. Picks apart the second player from Wolfhounds, is now rejects. We're going to continue thriving off of these kills one after another. The entry from Wolfhounds is going to be denied at each and every step. One of the players even advancing onto bathroom as Champ is trying to flash them out, but time is running out and you need to be conservative as a trade comes out between the two. And now Wolfhounds, if they're going to go for a refrag game, it's going to be all but good. Possessive from the hatch, Akayu not checking his top, and all left down to the shoulders of Lazy, who cannot find the shots, and Flary takes him out on the spot as rejects now get themselves the second round.
Yeah, Devon's not quite able to clutch up their 2 rounds in a row. And again, it's an issue of the time there. I feel like for the Wolfhounds, they just left themselves with too much to do in too little time. And the clock ran away from them. And yeah, when you're in those situations, you can't quite clear every angle. That's why we saw Possessive on the hatch go unpunished. It's why we saw just all of that panic in these players where they weren't necessarily thinking as much as they could have done, because again, the time's getting low. You don't necessarily get the opportunity to thoughtfully consider every single play and plan of action at that point in time. So, evened up yet again. This one also seems like it's going to be close, just like we saw in the previous map. But, you know, second half could tell a very different story. We have to get there first, and potentially one of these teams will have an advantage. Whoever wins this round, round number 5, will have the opportunity to secure one as such. So, defense yet again up here on the top floor. This is somewhere that we've seen mixed success from the rejects so far. Bob, what's your prediction? Are we seeing a defense or an attack win?
In this round?
In this round.
I don't know. It's border. It can go anyway.
That's fair.
I can't give you a prediction
yeah,
here. I mean, with what we've seen up until now, it's going to be really difficult. But you know, if I were to put my money on the line, which I won't, because yet again,
you're not a gambling man.
I am, just not in Siege.
Put
I'm sticking away from Siege. Honestly, that's not a bad idea. Maybe I will just after the stream. Maybe. You know what, Wolfhounds? I'll put my house on red if you manage to win this.
Wow, that's bold.
You say bald? I am balding though. Yeah, you're fair enough.
Bold, B-O-L-D, bold.
Wolfhounds punching out the castles, going by the old-fashioned way and trying to take it slow. There's no rush at the given moment on Possessive.
Okay.
Gets taken out in the moment, being champ on week. Possessive is out, an exchange for it, and Wolfhound with the pivot very early on, taking out the castle. Utility still got to stick on through. The rejects have now lost a gut.
Yeah, they absolutely have, and with the Blackbeard shield able to just wreak havoc on these castle barricades. Champ on Wii. He's helping Wolfhounds clear so much space, and crucially clear it quite quickly as well. You know, we've had those sort of round timer concerns for the Wolfhounds so far. Frag grenade being sent through towards the back site, and it forces the player out. Ooh. Spoomy gets the catch onto Yellow. Nice little combination with the utility there. Shock drone gives a little bit of information away, but even still it gets shut down, but a disadvantage for the rejects. 3 versus 4. They still got the sight, but they very nearly don't have Flary. A 3 versus 5 still.
Oh, Flary, that was cutting it really close, a bit too close for comfort to say the least. And now Wolfhounds, the advantage they've gained is golden. The teamwork they've showed and displayed, even more so. But with 50 seconds, you need to get this diffuser, the lunchbox, down onto site. Joshy, they're going to be supporting his team with a kill onto Shoji. The Capcat Trap, want to be careful of it. We've seen it on Consulate, and it can ruin friendships. Now, Cryrem going to be the staple here, as Flary's HP not going to be bringing any confidence into the following gunfights. The Melusi taking a bit of changing. And Joshy there with a random spray onto the head, able to take him out, as Flary prior to it, a victim to the main breach. And just like that, Wolfhounds have retaken the lead and also secured themselves a draw in the first half at the very least.
Yeah, and it seems like your house is going on red, Bob, mate.
Unlucky.
Unlucky. Well,
unlucky indeed. Wolfhounds, we can talk about this, right? Maybe I get 2 houses out of it. You never know.
That's true. Would you give me one, or would you?
Absolutely not.
Why? What?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
Absolutely not. I would have one for myself, and then I'd probably sell the other one.
And a second one for yourself. Oh, okay.
Yeah, basically.
Honestly, I respect it. Not as much.
You know what they say.
I respect it less than if you gave it to me, but I still respect it.
All right, but what if I keep it, but you pay for the fees, like the monthly fees? You pay for the fees, but it's still mine. I think that sounds like a fair deal.
You know what? Sure.
All right, bad. Gold mine.
It's going to be like the least efficient house ever. It's to really rack up my bills.
It's going to be probably haunted as well.
Round number 6 is underway, pretty much. The action phase just a second away now. And we're back down in Bathroom Tellus, and that is the site. Someone let Shoji know that is the site.
Big ups. Shoji's very appreciative, I imagine. But
Yeah.
take a look at yellow here. Interesting angle. Really good spawn peek. Could have caught many players in the past. We've seen that Wolfhounds really like approaching this armory balcony. And we also spot the Tuberan. Now, that's going to be interesting. Yes. Thank you very much, Nanos. And oh, thank you very much. And even more possessive as he goes for the run out. And damage onto Akayu. Akayu has been so low for the entirety of this matchup, while Yellow will get away with a cheeky kill onto the Ram of all operators, leaving it to Devin to be the only soft breach.
Yeah, it's starting to look rougher and rougher for the Wolfhounds, but a 3-3 half on the horizon. Not quite secured just yet, though. There's still an opportunity and a chance for the Wolfhounds to fight back. However, with Joshi Moshi falling, it starts to become even more difficult, because remember, Akayu is still low on health. He's basically a dead man walking, and at that point you get to a 3-player deficit. That looks unwinnable. Even a 2-player deficit is pretty tough to come up against. But map control being gained by the attack here. Wolfhounds inside of security. And the hatch is being opened up as well. Information coming through. And Devin needs to be careful because counter spam through the wall. He's now the only one left, as it turns out. Possessive gets a double there downstairs towards detention. And every angle is being found upon here. Devin, what can you do? Where can you go? It's, well, straight to hell, it seems like. Possessive, the Deagle for the triple kill, and the third round on the board for the Rejects. Yet again, we've got a tied half.
My god, Possessive just letting it rip. And it's so interesting because we're playing a match of ping pong here. I feel like each round specifically, a certain team tends to dominate. This one we just witnessed, without a doubt, Rejects took it home. But the one before it, Wolfhounds were the one on top of the food chain. That's interesting to see, but now we're going to be going on to a role swap, meaning new bans, new picks, new sites, lineups, and many more. Rejects on the attack are going to be getting rid of the Mira firsthand, which is, again, Rejects used it, they don't want it used against them. Quite logical. As for the Blackbeard, I don't think I need to explain why shields are going to be so annoying, but if the Clash doesn't get banned here, Rejects, do we get rid of her? Yeah, there we go, okay.
Yeah. So we still have those two from the first half, but yeah. Again, I'm not surprised that Wolfhounds banned away the Blackbeard, because like you said, it's the same theory really for the Mira ban. Used her in the first half. Don't want to come up against the Blackbeard. They saw how powerful it was first hand, really. So the sides have now swapped, and Yellow's bringing along the Glaz. For now, obviously, again, attacker repick in the prep phase means that we can't necessarily be too sure about that. But, you know, the Glaz. Wolfhounds went for it in the first half. Didn't quite work out for them. They ended up losing the round. But again, that was more of a time issue with Rejects here. Maybe they themselves are able to do something better with it. And, you know, remember, we talked about in the previous series how Red Kites won last season. Well, the Rejects came second. So they are, you know, now that that team is gone, Red Kites, maybe they're sort of favourites here in this tournament and competition, and we've certainly seen in previous tournaments, again, that this is a very successful team. You'd like to think that they don't fall victim to the same sorts of clock issues that we saw in the first half, but very much could be their Achilles heel as well.
It definitely could be. I'm wondering if Rejects are now going to be actually looking to go for that by-the-book rush that you tend to see quite commonly on Border, or possibly even mimicking what Wolfhounds pulled off. The lineups are certainly similar. We do see the Ace, which is probably going to be going for that single wall right off the bat, but it's going to be the Ying here that's the odd one out, right? The Ying is extremely powerful. Again, not necessarily much of a counter besides the Jaeger and Wamai, which could be coming in quite handy, but of course, I imagine the preemptive setup here from Rejects is going to be just chucking out utility until all is drained. And well, speaking of, to get the man cut, Possessive has somehow made entry into sight. Gets the blind, lazy Devin knifes him out. A bit of shank on action. The plant is going down. Rejects are now looking to reject you out of the moment, and it's stuck on through a down onto Devin. Still, how is this happening? Wolfhounds have found themselves backed up against the wall, and Chap is fighting Ghost on main breach of B. Rejects have found, thrived, just jumps in through the window,
How's he
gets
alive?
the smokes down. The glass is going to be safe and sound. 27 seconds, 20 of those you have remaining. And just like that, Rejects are definitely going to be showing off as Yellow picks off another Devon there for the finish. Bummy gets a fantastic headshot onto the glass. Rather body shots all along, get a bit of pre-fire action. Not going to be able to save yourself as Shoji takes you out and leaves Champ in a 1v3 situation with not much time remaining. What? That's all I have to ask. What?
Well, at the very least, the Rejects didn't lose to the round timer, that's for sure. They just went straight in there, and I mean, those 2 kills from Possessive. What just happened? What just happened? It was complete chaos. We were caught off guard. The Wolfhound certainly caught off guard. And,
check metal. Always have a hold over metal, because if you don't, the Blitz is going to go through west entrance, open up that main door, and run upon it, and do exactly as we just witnessed. That was out of nowhere, and no one even seemed to react as well. They only realized the Blitz was inside of the site once 2 players have already been killed. Did no one hear the metal, like 100-kilo metal shield jumping up the main stairs and going into sight?
clearly not.
Clearly not.
Clearly not. I mean, yeah, it just complete chaos there on the site. You use the Ying in combination with the Blitz, and you've got the glass as well with all the smokes, and it just gets far too crazy there in the execute. Wolfhounds, there was nothing they could do, and I still have no idea how Possessive got a double kill. We'll have to see if he does it again, because we're back up on the top floor here, Bob. It seems like it's a similar sort of idea here from the Rejects, but I mean, the operators that they're bringing along, it does seem that they're going to be taking it at least somewhat slower.
I think so indeed. No, Possessive is slow is only a suggestion for this man.
Well,
he gets another spummy. What's happening downstairs? Devon thankfully exchanges it. Flary there falls quickly after, and just like that, an exchange within the first 30 seconds. A twitch for a lesion. It shows that Wolfhounds adapted and set up a bit more precaution when it comes down to this type of rush denial with a Fenrir and Legion. But what does it matter when Possessive just takes a different route? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, some shots coming through here inside of Fountain and Admin as well, but yep, the Blitz has been spotted and very wisely dipping away. That's one hell of a shot through the wall. Reading the Blitz's movement there perfectly, and Possessive is out of this round, but Devon, you got to be careful, my friend, because running straight back into the waiting arms of Shoji. Yes, the aggression here not quite over just yet, and Devon going for more and taking damage through that wall. He gives some and you take some, it certainly seems. A 4 versus 3, Wolfhound still on top for now.
So on top for the moment being, don't want to give away position of Devon here. It is being locked out by Shoji and trying to isolate him on this Fountain side, but Joshimashi going for the flank here. We don't necessarily have anything to back it up, while close by sight, Cryrum going to pick up on one, gets picked up quite shortly after. Still going to be Wolfhounds with the advantage, but they continue persisting with it as Yellow is the only thing that stands between Rejects and Wolfhounds as equalization yet again. Like I said, this is a real match of ping pong. Last one's going to be Metal, a bit of cha-cha from Yellow. He does seem to be stepping in the moment being, and it seems that MJ tactic, it seems to be that he has disconnected, unfortunately.
That's certainly an anticlimactic way to close out that round. Seems like it was a bit of a PC crash issue, so yeah, we'll get that computer loaded up again, and yeah, we'll jump back into the game hopefully fairly shortly. But it's 4-4, Bob. You know, you said before the game, 2 quick games today. Are you regretting that statement now? Because
you really got to put me on blast like this.
All I'm saying, you know, all I'm saying is
going into this, I was going according to previous results. Like you said, Rejects were the ones in the grand finals alongside Red Kites. We get to see both teams, and in the grand finals, Red Kites were strong. They were phenomenal. Now, of course, the roster change did seem to affect them, and in the end, we ended up going for a bit of a longer match. Overtime is something that's really interesting, but at the same time, Rejects and Wolfhounds, I necessarily haven't seen this matchup myself, but Rejects are a strong team, and Wolfhounds seem to be even stronger.
Yeah, again, it's a marked difference from last split when, like I say, it was a 7-1 victory to the Rejects over the Wolfhounds there. So Wolfhounds certainly looking a lot better, and Border, I feel like, is one of those maps where it can be a bit of a leveler, right? You can sort of get away with a bit more, and it does sort of bring some parity between some teams. So that could potentially be a reason for it. But both of these squads, like we said, already in the playoffs. This is just for seeding, but your opponent does matter. Win and you're facing the Pit Ponies. Lose and you're facing the Goats, who came out on top in a very, very strong and very, very close Group A. As for this group, again, yeah, like we say, battle for victory, and it's as close as we would hope.
100%. I mean, we can take a look at this out of Border, and as much as we are seeing aggression, I feel like aggression, again, complementary to this map. Rejects are doing it really well by showing this type of spawn peak initiative, even when on the attacking side. Do we even want to mention possessive, or do we even need to mention possessive? Just rushing in and getting kills? This is what is rewarded on this map. Now, Wolfhounds are definitely bringing a sort of aggression on their own, and I like that they're working between each other. They're aligned like the stars in the sky, and if one goes down, the others come in there for the support. Well, it tends to not go their way always. It has brought them to this 4-4 scoreline, and yet again, this is going to be those type of steps when we're approaching the match point. This is where it gets really, really important, because you want to make sure that each of the following rounds count. The first to reach match point as the first to have a chance at winning within regulation, and of course you don't want to be necessarily exhausting yourself all the way to overtime. So Wolfhounds Rejects being equalized here is really interesting, but again, it tends to get a lot more tense when we're this close to a 6-pointer.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, there's been a lot of drama.
Yes.
I still can't get the bathroom tellers round out of
the mirror.
Head. The
mirror. Yeah, same. Like nothing against the player, but it's
yeah, no. Like, this is the thing. I don't want to seem like I'm harping on one player, but my God, man, that was funny.
It was the first time I've seen it, that's for sure. It was definitely the first time I've seen something like that outside of... And again, don't want to
like
seem
I say,
necessarily mean,
I've seen attackers get confused. I've seen attackers get confused plenty about what side it is. But never a defender. That is certainly a new one.
That is a new one, but we don't necessarily know how long this is going to be taking, so while everyone's getting back in the lobby, while we're prepping it all up, we're going to take it to a short break, so stay tuned. We'll be back momentarily, and of course, grab yourself something to drink, something to snack on. We'll be right back.
Well, that thankfully didn't take too long, and now we're back in round number 9. We were just talking during the very quick break about how chaotic this game has been, and I mean, it certainly has been a chaotic game. Rejects on their attack have certainly looked to bring the chaos, especially, you know, round number 7, we saw that sort of blitz execute come on in, Possessive finding 2, and all of the chaos that brought. Now we head down to Bathroom Tellers, and then again, this is another site which it's very possible to have those quick, punchy executes coming into. But again, there's no Ying on side. It looks like for the Rejects, they want to take this one a little bit slower. And that could be a good idea, because Spoomy does bring along the cap cans into this round.
And we've seen the Capcan. It definitely has its pros rather than cons, and it doesn't seem like Rejects are going to be bringing about the Brava to necessarily force counter him out. So, possibly could find some kills off of those booby traps, but in the meanwhile, Rejects are already going to be fast on their move. Possessive, steamrolling down these balconies, trying to get himself into armory as quick as they possibly can. And, well, that's definitely a good way of going about it, right? The time has been a blunder for some of these attacking rounds, and of course, we don't want to be messing with it too much, so just get it over as quickly as you can, put Possessive into the building, and let him rock.
Indeed, indeed. Certainly not the quietest of operators. Just clearing out this top floor position, break room. It's empty. We've spotted out that there's no cap can traps on this door either, but they also know that Devon is here on the east stairs. And that's giving a little bit of cause for concern, at least for the minute, this attacking side. Just choosing to take a bit of a pause, and Yellow's found Champ on Wii. The castle now down, maybe not the most impactful operator to lose, but that's still a gun now removed for the defensive side. I've heard a C4 ripped, but well, it doesn't find its mark. Breach charge being used here as well as these angles keep getting opened up. Rejects, they're quite solidly now in the forefront.
Tempted to get some wall bangs just before you head back down onto the bottom floor, and it seems like Possessive there is looking to cut your path. Doesn't find the timing just yet, but still going to be securing himself fantastic moments. The flash is going to be there, the wall bangs as well. Almost takes out Devon, but it's going to be Yoshi, the first one to step up to the act and find the kill, returning the favor here, and also bringing it to an equal count between the two teams. Adrenaline surges here are going to be of huge help for the Rejects, as now they're looking to pile down not only from the upper floor, finding this verticality, but at the same time, they need to make progress towards side itself, which will be this east axis and the window right onto B.
Oh, that's a nice angle from Flary, though, to take down Devon and finds a second to boot. Spoomy falling, and now the advantage compounded upon here by the Rejects. Wolfhounds, just these 2 players left on the site. There's at least the Dread Mine to deal a little bit of blindness and fear into the minds of these players. Joshi Moshi, he's spotted the long angle, but now he's been spotted out as well. He's isolated in a corner, and there goes the FNAT. Again, Akayu falling. It's all on this Fenrir. 1 versus 4. The first player falls. The second player gets the kill. Rejects have the advantage yet again in this map. It just goes back and forth.
Back and forth. 5th for Rejects. Do Wolfhounds catch up yet again? Or is this the moment where Rejects expand on that gap of rounds between the two and catch up on match point? As yet again, this is a race between the two, and Rejects are now a step ahead. They're going to be in first place and going for the 3rd bans. Get the drums rolling. It will be a castle for the Blitz. A castle has been providing a lot of time wastage, but also a lot of force picks for the attacking side, and Rejects don't want to be dealing with it any longer. They want the Blitz to have freedom of space and movement. As for the Blitz, speaking of it, Wolfhounds just banned them out. That's all 3 shields gone, unless you get to use the fuse, which God forbid that.
That would be quite funny.
That would be funny.
I would back it just for the comedy value.
I agree.
But I mean, like you say, I don't think there's any reason we need to really explain why the Blitz is gone. I mean, just look at round 9 and round 7. And you've got your answer. Wolfhounds, they've been done over by that agent one too many times. They just want to get it gone. It's a return to Bathroom Tellers here for the defense. So they want to give this one another crack, not really risk that ventilation site as the Valkyrie comes in again. That black eye camera providing information there from Devon. And another one up in that angle. They want to control this top floor, the Wolfhounds, because that's where Rejects did a lot of damage in the previous.
Round 10. A lot stands on the line here for Wolfhounds that they need to deny. Majorly match point. I'm loving the pick from Spoomy again. We've seen that Rejects absolutely adore going above them. Now, the best counter to it, Baldman, give him a microwave, and what do you get? You get Spoomy in his pulse that has constant location tracking on you. As for some of these Rejects players, might be a bit more directive on their approach. We do see the pre-plays drones here are going to be trying to set themselves up for an easy entry towards tickets, I believe, and that's where Possessive comes in. We've seen them on the Blitz. They've taken that away, and now they've infuriated the wrath of Possessive on the Finca.
Yeah, the LMG is going to be able to deal so much damage and covering fire as well. Is soft walls not really longed for this world anymore. The Rejects slowing things down a little bit. Just making sure they've got all the information. Got the Deimos here as well from Yellow, who can reveal the locations of any defender. And with all of them being spotted out, it really is any defender that can be located. Champon Wee wisely gets away from that window. Just too many risky angles. Adrenal Surge coming through as well. It's a frag grenade to find the opening kill. And that's Devon down.
That's going to be Devon down. Valkyrie has left the field, but Rejects are not going to be stopping just with that. They're craving for more, they want it, and they need it, for a matter of fact. This time has ran out, and Wolfhounds and their roamers have done too much damage, but two more remain here. Champ is attempting to go at some random wall bangs. The pulse is there, being contested, and what are we doing, Champ?
No.
Help your teammate! Flurry just comes in swinging, gets himself one. With the help of Possessive, it's going to convert into a 2v4, and now Rejects have not only gained ground, they still have plenty of time to roll around with, but the utility still is available.
Oh, Joshi Moshi as well just lets the shock drone go past. That's the Electro Claw there, taken away, and that's going to enable this attack. I was going to say to open up the hatch, and there we go. It doesn't even need to happen, but the kills come in elsewhere instead. Rejects, again, another successful attack, a brilliantly aggressive attacking stance there from that team. Season 7 runners-up now find themselves on match point.
Find themselves on match point. 2 rounds. Wolfhounds, will you pull exactly what we witnessed with Red Kites on Consulate? Or will it be regulation victory for the Sad Rejects as then they get to face Pit Ponies? These are the answers and the questions that still currently lie. So let's allow time to do its thing. Let's head into round number 11. And of course, seeing as it's going to be the second floor, it seems like Wolfhounds have now started mixing up an attempt of adaptation from every strategy Rejects have pulled. So the Goyo there for the one and only Blitz, or any smoke plant. The Fenrir as well to deny it. Any utility like Ying's will be instantly cancelled out by the Jaeger. And of course the Cade, because we've seen the A's be quite common for Rejects.
Opening up lines of sight, opening up different angles. Last chance saloon, really, here for Wolfhounds. And Aurora coming through again. It's certainly a choice, but with an Ash and a Ram as well, you get the sense with an IQ and Ace as well. This is a very aggressive lineup again here, Bob, for the Rejects on attack. This is they want to go fast and they want to go now.
They want to go now. It's still setting some of these players back on site, or rather back on spawn. Yellow's trying to contest early pick'ems, possibly from long range. You know, Shoji there for a moment spotted a lazy Devon, who is not going to be getting away with a kill just yet, but still trying to have second challenges and bouts. Maybe going in for a second round towards this window. Early poppage on the go here is going to be a good way to find clearage of that utility, as 2 have already been cleared out by Yellow, just simply holding down this line. And yet again, Wolfhounds have now possibly gotten the idea that Rejects are attempting to go for this rush plant and might reposition, while though that's only a plan B here. I mean, we can see the positioning from Rejects. They have spread themselves all across this map and even taken damage off of Champ.
Yeah, that's a very tight angle that he was trying to contest there with the SMG-11, and well, with the scopes from the attackers, it works out in their favor. Not a kill just yet, but it's instead Joshi Moshi in that down but not out state, right to be dealt with here by the attack, and indeed Shoji there gets the confirmation. Wolfhounds in the disadvantage here. They're trailing in terms of the man count, and this is potentially the last round of this map if they can't overturn this deficit. Rejects, they're looking for that 7-4 as the angles come on in. A frag grenade to take him away. Flary gets a kill with one as well. Possessive on the site. He's finding the kills. Devon at least finds that answer back. Champion way up the metal stairs as well. He whiffs on the shot. It's damage dealt, but still a player alive, still a gun up and firing. And Devon left alone on the site. He's the one that's going to have to try and come up against this. Champion way up these stairs. He's going to attempt to double up with his teammate, but now the defuse is being planted on B, and these defenders are so far away from this. There's so much coverage, there's so much oversight here from the Rejects. As the time now goes yellow, and these players, well, Devon at least gets one, but he's down but not out. It's up left to Champ on Wii, unless he can pick up his teammate, which he goes for. Potentially, yes, going for this 2v3. Low health on both of these players. Cryrim not too healthy himself. But a swing on round from Possessive. It mows down the last two. Rejects, runners up previously. Top of the group. And now with their main rivals Red Kites eliminated, looking to stake their claim to the throne.
Pit Ponies to stand in their way, but definitely can't be said the same for the side of Wolfhounds, as now they've been eliminated. 7-4 fashion, not able to bring it back within these following two rounds, and overtime out of consideration, we have ourselves some winners here. We've seen the side of Pit Ponies take it against Red Kites, the previous champions, and looking to claim that title for themselves, but like you said, the runners-up from previous seasons, Rejects, also reaching quite deep for that title, and already surpassing the challenge of none other than Wolfhounds. Order was an interesting one. We've seen some plays that I personally haven't witnessed before, so maybe this truly was one of the best matches ever, but without a doubt here, we did see Rejects pull off till the end. In the second half, they were monumental. A bit of struggles through the first, but they ended up locking in as time came to be. And also their lineups weren't necessarily as easily penetratable by Wolfhounds. Wolfhounds nicely focused on utility. But what does that utility matter when Rejects just clear it out in the early stage of the round and then gun you down in the following?
Yeah, absolutely. It was very nicely done, and it was that sort of aggressive attacking that we didn't really see from the Wolfhounds in the first half. They took it a lot more slow, a lot more measured, which generally is how you want to play Siege, but Border is a bit of a different beast, and especially when you are that closely matched, it's those sorts of punchy, aggressive switches up of the speed of your attack that does get you across the line. It was a masterclass there on the attacking side, only dropping one round, and even that got close.
100%, and well, since we're already still here, let's take a look at the standings. Where do these teams currently lie? Right below us will be Group A. It's Pit Ponies 3.6 for the side of Goats, Wolfhounds on 3, Rejects on 6 on Group B, and now we still have some challenges before the grand finals. Yet again, next week, same time, same day, it's going to be a Tuesday. We have more Wales Esports when it comes down to Rainbow Six throughout the week. We also have Rocket League, Valorant, and so much more, so keep your eye out for it. But as we see the brackets tomorrow, right below us. What?
I was just saying Counter-Strike tomorrow, you know, plug, keep it, feed day by day, you know, plug the very next things for our viewers. You can see the bracket on down there, yeah. Goats, Wolfhounds, Rejects, Pit Ponies. I'm not entirely sure which one we'll be casting, but it's going to be one of them. So that's when we get into best of 3 territory as well. Lots of stuff, very, very exciting prospects there for the future. As I mean, let's face it, best of 3, that's where we really start to see these teams get tested. I mean, let's face it, best of ones, they can be very volatile. I mean, I think we saw it today, and all throughout this group stage, really. Sometimes you get those upsets. Overtime games that go the way you don't expect. Best of threes, they're a lot more certain. There's still that chance for excitement. So we hope you will join us next week for more Rainbow Six. Thank you, Bob. We've enjoyed casting with you once again. Thank you to Kashi on the production, Nanos on the observing. Thank you to you, the audience, as well, for tuning in and supporting Esports Wales. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for Counter-Strike 2, and then obviously next Tuesday for more Rainbow Six Siege. Goodbye.